When a raven dies, something strange happens. Other ravens gather around, calling loudly, watching silently, almost as if they're holding a funeral. But are they really mourning the dead? Or is there something deeper going on that we've barely begun to understand? The raven is a bird that has fascinated humanity for centuries, weaving itself into myths, legends, and folklore across countless cultures. But beyond the symbolism and superstition lies an animal of remarkable intelligence and adaptability. Scientifically known as Corvus corax, the common raven is one of the largest members of the corvid family, which also includes crows, magpies, and jays. Adult ravens typically measure between 24 to 27 inches in length, with a wingspan stretching up to 4 feet. Their feathers are an iridescent black, shimmering with hues of blue and purple in the sunlight. Their beaks are powerful and curved, perfectly designed for a variety of tasks, from tearing flesh to prying open objects. Ravens are highly adaptable and are found across the northern hemisphere, inhabiting regions ranging from the Arctic tundra to deserts, forests, and even urban environments. This wide distribution is a testament to their ability to exploit a variety of habitats and food sources. They are omnivores and opportunistic feeders, consuming everything from small mammals, insects, and carrion to grains, berries, and even human food waste. Their diet reflects their role as scavengers and hunters, capable of surviving in some of the harshest environments on the planet. What truly sets ravens apart is their intelligence. Studies have shown that ravens possess cognitive abilities comparable to those of great apes. They can solve complex problems, use tools, and even plan for the future. In one famous experiment, ravens were observed using sticks to extract insects from tree bark, a behavior that was once thought to be unique to primates. They have also been seen dropping nuts onto roads for cars to crack open, demonstrating an understanding of cause and effect. Ravens exhibit remarkable social intelligence as well. They are known to play games with one another, sliding down snowy rooftops or passing sticks back and forth in midair. Play is not just limited to their own species. Ravens have been seen playing with other animals, such as dogs and wolves. These behaviors are believed to strengthen social bonds and improve cognitive flexibility. In the wild, ravens often form long-term monogamous pairs, maintaining lifelong partnerships with their mates. They also exhibit complex social structures, with young ravens forming flocks that function much like teenage social groups, where alliances and rivalries are constantly shifting. Their communication skills are equally impressive. Ravens have a vast repertoire of vocalizations, including clicks, knocks, and a variety of calls that can convey information about food sources, predators, and even emotional states. They are also capable mimics, able to imitate the calls of other birds, animals, and even human speech when in captivity. In the wild, ravens have been observed using deceptive calls to trick other animals away from food, showcasing their cunning and strategic thinking. Ravens have a rich history in human culture, appearing in myths and legends across the globe. In Norse mythology, the god Odin was accompanied by 2 ravens, Hugin and Munin, who represented thought and memory, and flew across the world to bring him information. In many Native American traditions, the raven is seen as a creator figure, a trickster who shapes the world through cunning and mischief. Conversely, in Western literature and folklore, ravens are often associated with death and ill omens, perhaps most famously in Edgar Allan Poe's poem The Raven, where the bird becomes a symbol of mournful loss and never-ending sorrow. The raven's association with death and the path supernatural likely stems from its scavenging habits. As carrion feeders, ravens were a common sight on battlefields and at execution sites, feasting on the remains of the dead. Their black plumage and eerie croaking calls further cemented their reputation as harbingers of doom. However, these same Traits have also led some cultures to view them as guardians of sacred knowledge, beings that traverse the boundary between life and death. Despite their dark reputation, ravens are also symbols of resilience and survival. Their ability to thrive in a variety of environments and their resourcefulness in finding food have made them a successful species, even in the face of human expansion and habitat destruction. In fact, in some areas, raven populations have increased due to human activity, as landfills, roadkill, and urban refuse provide abundant food sources. Ravens are not just passive scavengers. They are also active hunters. They have been observed hunting small mammals, birds, reptiles, and even fish. Their hunting strategies often involve teamwork and cooperation, where one raven will distract the prey while another swoops in for the catch. This level of coordination requires advanced cognitive skills and the ability to anticipate the actions of others, traits that are rarely seen outside of primates and dolphins. One of the most fascinating aspects of raven behavior is their apparent understanding of fairness and reciprocity. In controlled experiments, ravens have shown a willingness to share food with others that have helped them in the past, suggesting a sense of social justice. They also hold grudges against individuals who have wronged them, remembering faces, and punishing cheaters within their social group. This kind of social memory is a hallmark of advanced intelligence and complex social living. Ravens also demonstrate a keen awareness of being observed, a trait known as theory of mind. They will go to great lengths to hide their food caches, often pretending to hide food in one spot while secretly stashing it elsewhere if they sense they are being watched. This deceptive behavior indicates an understanding that other individuals have separate minds and intentions, a cognitive ability once thought to be uniquely human. Breeding season for ravens typically begins in late winter, with pairs engaging in elaborate aerial displays, acrobatics, and synchronized flights to strengthen their bond. Nests are built high up in trees or on cliff ledges, constructed from sticks and lined with softer materials like moss, fur, and grass. A typical clutch consists of 3 to 7 eggs, which are incubated for about 3 weeks. Both parents are involved in raising the young, feeding them regurgitated food until they are ready to fledge, which usually occurs around 6 weeks of age. Ravens have an impressive lifespan, with wild individuals living up to 15 years and captive ravens reaching ages of over 40 years. This longevity, combined with their intelligence, allows them to accumulate a wealth of experience over their lifetime, making older ravens valuable members of their social groups. Their long lifespan also enables the development of individual personalities and complex relationships, traits that endear them to those who work with them in wildlife, rehabilitation, and research. Interactions between ravens and other species are not limited to trickery and deception. In some regions, ravens have been observed forming symbiotic relationships with wolves and other large predators. The ravens act as scouts, leading the predators to potential prey or carcasses, and in return, they get access to the leftovers. This mutually beneficial relationship showcases the raven's adaptability and social savvy as they navigate interspecies alliances to their advantage. In modern times, ravens have found new niches in human-dominated landscapes. They are frequently seen scavenging in urban areas, raiding garbage bins, and even learning the schedules of schools and parks to take advantage of food left behind by people. This ability to learn and adapt to human behavior has allowed them to flourish in places where other wildlife struggles to survive. One of the ongoing debates among ornithologists and animal behaviorists is the extent to which ravens possess a sense of self-awareness. Mirror tests, often used to determine self-recognition in animals, have yielded mixed results with ravens. However, their ability to plan for the future, use tools, and engage in complex social interactions suggests a level of consciousness that challenges traditional views on avian intelligence. Ravens continue to captivate scientists and bird enthusiasts alike, not just for their enigmatic presence and mythological weight, but for the window they provide into the evolution of intelligence. Their behaviors blur the lines between instinct and cognition, showing us that intelligence is not a linear hierarchy with humans at the top, but a diverse and multifaceted trait that has evolved independently across different species. As we continue to study ravens, we uncover more about the cognitive abilities that link us to the animal kingdom. Every act of problem solving, every instance of cooperation and deception, and every display of empathy and understanding in ravens forces us to reconsider the boundaries we have drawn between human and animal minds. The raven, often shrouded in darkness and mystery, emerges as a symbol of intelligence, adaptability, and the deep, complex threads that connect all sentient life. Their complex vocalizations are not merely a random collection of sounds, but are used with intention and context. For example, ravens have specific alarm calls that differ based on the type of predator they spot, such as hawks, eagles, or humans. They also have food calls that invite trusted individuals to a newly found food source. Interestingly, these food calls are not shared with every raven in earshot. Instead, ravens selectively call their allies, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of social networks and alliances. This selectivity points to their capacity for social strategy and long-term relationship building. Juvenile ravens spend years learning these social intricacies, often forming flocks that resemble adolescent peer groups. These gatherings are more than just casual associations. They function as training grounds where young ravens develop their social skills, establish hierarchies, and learn the unwritten rules of raven society. Conflicts arise and alliances shift, mirroring the complex dynamics of primate troops or human adolescent groups. Eventually, most of these young ravens will find mates and form monogamous pairs, but the lessons learned during their formative years are crucial for their future survival and social navigation. Ravens' mimicry abilities are another remarkable aspect of their communication. In captivity, ravens have been known to imitate human words, mechanical sounds like car engines, and even other animals' calls. While this mimicry is less documented in wild populations, their vocal versatility allows them to adapt their calls to different social and environmental contexts. This flexibility is a hallmark of advanced cognitive processing and hints at a deeper understanding of their acoustic environment. Tool use in ravens has been observed both in captivity and in the wild, reinforcing their reputation as avian problem solvers. They have been documented using sticks to retrieve insects from crevices, dropping stones to crack open hard-shelled food, and even bending wires into hooks to access out-of-reach items. These behaviors are not just learned responses, but indicate an ability to anticipate outcomes and manipulate objects to achieve specific goals. Such actions require foresight, planning, and a mental representation of cause and effect, cognitive faculties that are rare in the animal kingdom. Another fascinating aspect of raven intelligence is their ability to delay gratification. In experimental settings, ravens have chosen to wait for a better reward rather than immediately taking a lesser one, a behavior known as self-control or delayed reward discounting. This ability is closely linked to future planning and is considered a significant marker of advanced intelligence. Ravens' capacity to forego immediate rewards in anticipation of better future outcomes challenges long-held assumptions about bird cognition and places them on a cognitive level comparable to great apes and dolphins. In their natural habitats, ravens play a crucial ecological role as scavengers. By consuming carrion, they help prevent the spread of disease and contribute to nutrient recycling within ecosystems. This scavenging behavior, while often overlooked, is vital to maintaining ecological balance. Ravens' keen eyesight and intelligence make them highly effective at locating carrion over vast distances, often beating other scavengers like vultures and coyotes to the scene. Their presence at carcasses can influence the behavior of other scavengers, sometimes facilitating access for smaller species by opening up tough hides. Their interactions with other bird species are also noteworthy. Ravens are known to engage in kleptoparasitism, where they steal food from other animals. They have been observed harassing hawks, ospreys, and even eagles to force them to drop their prey. This boldness, combined with strategic harassment tactics, allows ravens to exploit the hunting success of more powerful predators. Their success in these encounters often depends on their ability to read the behavior of their targets, adjusting their approach based on the predator's responses, showcasing a high level of behavioral flexibility. Ravens' nesting habits reveal yet another layer of their complex behavior. They often reuse nesting sites year after year, adding new materials and repairing old structures. These nests, perched on cliffs, tall trees, or even human-made structures like telephone poles and bridges, are intricately built and well defended. Ravens are fiercely territorial during the breeding season, driving away intruders with loud vocalizations and aerial displays. Despite their territorial nature during breeding, they exhibit remarkable tolerance and sociality outside of this period, often congregating in large numbers where food is abundant, not in harsh environments such as the Arctic tundra or high mountain ranges. Ravens demonstrate exceptional adaptability. They have been observed catching food in multiple locations, a strategy that ensures survival during times of scarcity. These caches are often hidden meticulously, and ravens use a variety of strategies to protect them, including creating false caches to deceive onlookers. This deceptive catching behavior indicates a level of strategic thinking that involves predicting and influencing the actions of other animals. The cultural transmission of knowledge among ravens is another area of great interest. Behaviors such as tool use, food catching strategies, and even social tactics are often learned through observation and imitation, rather than genetic inheritance. Young ravens watch and learn from older, more experienced individuals, allowing cultural knowledge to pass down through generations. This form of learning is considered a fundamental component of culture and has been well documented in primates and cetaceans, making its presence in ravens all the more significant. Ravens are also adept at navigating their environments using landmarks and spatial memory. They are capable of remembering the locations of numerous food caches and can recall these locations even after several months. Their spatial memory is not only useful for food storage, but also plays a crucial role in their ability to traverse vast territories and return to reliable nesting sites. This advanced memory capacity is supported by a relatively large hippocampus, a brain structure associated with navigation and memory in both birds and mammals. One of the lesser-known but equally intriguing aspects of raven behavior is their apparent emotional lives. Observers have reported behaviors that suggest empathy and consolation, such as grooming and vocalizing to distressed companions. Ravens also appear to grieve their dead, gathering silently around the body of a deceased conspecific, a behavior that has been interpreted by some researchers as a form of mourning or social acknowledgement of death. While it is difficult to ascribe human emotions to animal behaviors with certainty, these observations hint at a depth of emotional complexity that warrants further study. Their role in mythology and folklore, while often associated with death, is not universally negative. In many indigenous cultures, ravens are revered as creators, bringers of light, and symbols of transformation. Stories often depict ravens as cunning tricksters who use their wit to outsmart others and bring about change. These narratives reflect a deep respect for the raven's intelligence and adaptability, recognizing traits that are now being confirmed through scientific research. Ravens Adaptability to human-altered landscapes raises important questions about wildlife conservation and human-wildlife coexistence. While ravens have thrived in many urban and suburban environments, their increasing populations have sometimes led to conflicts, particularly in agricultural areas where they are seen as pests. However, their presence also offers unique opportunities for studying urban ecology and understanding how intelligent animals navigate and exploit human environments. In recent years, ravens have become a popular subject in cognitive science, ethology, and even robotics, as researchers look to their problem-solving strategies for inspiration in artificial intelligence. Their ability to adapt, learn, and innovate makes them ideal models for studying the evolution of intelligence and the underlying mechanisms of cognition. Despite the wealth of knowledge we have about ravens, many mysteries remain. Their cognitive capacities continue to surprise researchers, and ongoing studies are likely to reveal even more about their mental lives. As we deepen our understanding of these remarkable birds, we are reminded that intelligence is not the exclusive domain of humans, but a trait that has evolved in diverse and unexpected ways across the animal kingdom. The raven story is one of survival, ingenuity, and profound mystery. From their ancient role in human mythology to their place in modern scientific inquiry, ravens challenge our perceptions and invite us to reconsider the boundaries of intelligence and consciousness. In observing ravens, we catch a glimpse of a world where cunning, adaptability, and social complexity intertwine, revealing that the line between human and animal minds is far thinner than we once believed. The bond between humans and ravens is complex, marked by a history of both reverence and antagonism. In medieval Europe, ravens were often seen as omens of war and death, their appearance on battlefields interpreted as a sign that bloodshed was near. Yet even in those dark associations, there was a grudging respect for their cunning and resourcefulness. In contrast, various Arctic cultures, such as the Inuit, viewed the raven as a cultural hero and a vital link to the spiritual world. These dual perceptions reflect the bird's own duality: scavenger and creator, trickster and teacher. Modern scientific research continues to reveal new layers of raven behavior that blur the lines between instinctual actions and conscious thought. One area that has captured the attention of cognitive ethologists is the raven's ability to engage in cooperative problem solving. In controlled experiments, ravens have demonstrated the capacity to work together to retrieve food that would be inaccessible to a single bird. These tasks require an understanding of the roles played by each participant, patience to wait for a partner's actions, and even the ability to punish uncooperative individuals by refusing to collaborate with them in future tasks. This dynamic suggests not only advanced cognitive processing, but also a rudimentary sense of fairness and justice. Their visual acuity is another extraordinary feature. Ravens have excellent eyesight, which they use to detect potential food sources. From great distances, they can spot subtle movements and patterns in the landscape that reveal the presence of prey or carrion. This keen sense of vision is complemented by their aerial agility. Ravens are masters of flight, capable of performing complex aerial maneuvers such as flips, rolls, and even mid-air acrobatics that appear to be playful, but may also serve as displays of physical fitness and skill. Observations of ravens in the wild reveal that they are not just passive observers of their environment, but active participants who shape their surroundings through their behaviors. For instance, ravens have been known to follow hunters, knowing that human activity often leads to accessible food. They exhibit patience, sometimes following a hunter for hours, waiting for an opportunity. Similarly, in rural areas, ravens have learned to associate the sounds of gunshots with potential meals, quickly arriving at the scene to scavenge. Intelligence of ravens also manifests in their problem-solving strategies when confronted with obstacles. They are capable of mental trial and error, visualizing potential solutions before attempting physical actions. This ability has been observed in tasks where ravens must pull up strings to obtain a hanging piece of food, a challenge that requires foresight and sequential planning. Their success in such tasks indicates a level of abstract reasoning that is remarkable among birds. In addition to their physical and cognitive skills, ravens exhibit a rich emotional repertoire. They display affection toward mates and allies through preening and nuzzling behaviors. They also express frustration and annoyance, evidenced by body language such as feather ruffling and sharp vocalizations when their expectations are thwarted. These emotional expressions are not random, but are context-dependent, suggesting a nuanced internal emotional world that mirrors that of mammals known for their emotional complexity. The cultural significance of ravens extends into modern literature and media. From Edgar Allan Poe's haunting poem to their roles in fantasy literature like George R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, ravens continue to captivate the human imagination. Their image as both messengers and harbingers of fate persists, underscoring a fascination that transcends mere superstition and touches on a deeper recognition of their intelligence and enigmatic nature. In urban environments, ravens are increasingly displaying behaviors that highlight their adaptability to human activity. They have learned to navigate traffic patterns to safely retrieve food from roadsides, time their visits to public parks based on human feeding schedules, and exploit architectural features like rooftop vents for nesting. These behaviors require not only observational learning, but also the ability to modify and refine strategies based on changing conditions, a hallmark of behavioral flexibility. Their cognitive abilities are further highlighted in their understanding of cause and effect. Ravens have been observed dropping stones into water to raise the level and bring floating food within reach, an action that indicates an understanding of basic physical principles. While such behaviors were once thought to be exclusive to primates, the fact that ravens can perform them suggests a convergent evolution of intelligence driven by ecological challenges and social complexities. Ravens. Vocal communication is not merely a tool for immediate interactions, but also serves as a vehicle for transmitting cultural knowledge. Dialects have been identified among raven populations, with distinct vocal patterns emerging in geographically isolated groups. These dialects are learned through social interactions and passed down through generations, providing a vocal signature that binds members of a community together. This phenomenon mirrors language development in humans and highlights the role of social learning in the evolution of communication systems. Another layer of raven social life is their capacity for deception and manipulation. Ravens have been documented pretending to cache food while secretly hiding it elsewhere if they suspect they are being watched. This behavior indicates an understanding that others have minds and intentions separate from their own, a cognitive milestone known as theory of mind. The ability to attribute mental states to others allows ravens to engage in complex social maneuvering, enhancing their ability to survive in competitive environments. The concept of play in ravens is a topic that continues to intrigue researchers. Play is considered an indicator of cognitive and emotional sophistication, as it often involves behaviors that are not directly related to survival, but serve to develop skills, relieve stress, or strengthen social bonds. Ravens engage in a variety of playful activities, from aerial games and object manipulation to playful chases with other animals. These activities are not limited to juveniles, but are observed throughout their lives, suggesting that play serves an ongoing role in their social and cognitive development. Breeding behaviors among ravens reflect their deep social bonds. Courtship involves elaborate displays that include vocalizations, aerial acrobatics, and mutual preening. Once a pair bond is established, it often lasts for life, with pairs working cooperatively to raise their young. The division of labor during the breeding season is precise, with each parent taking on specific roles to ensure the survival of their offspring. This cooperative parenting reflects a high level of social coordination and investment in future generations. In some regions, ravens are involved in human-led conservation efforts, particularly in areas where their habitats overlap with endangered species. By studying ravens' interactions with these environments, conservationists can gain insights into ecosystem dynamics and develop strategies that balance raven populations with the needs of other wildlife. While ravens are not currently endangered, their role as ecological indicators makes them valuable allies in conservation biology. As we advance in our understanding of animal cognition, ravens continue to challenge our perceptions. Their behaviors force us to question the traditional hierarchies of intelligence that place mammals above birds. They demonstrate that intelligence is not solely a product of brain, size, or evolutionary proximity to humans, but can arise in diverse forms across the tree of life. The study of ravens is a journey into the very nature of consciousness, revealing that complex minds are not limited to species that look like us. In the final analysis, ravens embody a paradox. They are birds of death and creation, tricksters, and wise ones, loners, and social strategists. They remind us that intelligence is not a straight path, but a winding journey shaped by environment, social structures, and the ever-changing challenges of survival. Whether gliding through the sky with a playful flip or outwitting a fellow scavenger for a morsel of food, ravens carry with them a legacy of adaptability and ingenuity that has earned them a unique place in both the natural world and the human imagination. The more we learn about ravens, the clearer it becomes that their story is far from fully told. They offer a mirror through which we can examine our own cognitive and social evolution, and in doing so, they challenge us to broaden our understanding of what it means to be intelligent. In a world that is constantly changing, ravens stand as a testament to the power of adaptability, the strength of social bonds, and the profound depths of avian minds that continue to astonish and inspire us. While the scientific exploration of raven intelligence continues to unfold, what becomes increasingly evident is that these birds are not just passive participants in their ecosystems, but active problem solvers, social strategists, and cultural transmitters. Their abilities to plan for the future, manipulate their environment, deceive competitors, and navigate intricate social hierarchies position them among the most cognitively advanced creatures on Earth. The concept of avian intelligence, once dismissed as inferior to that of mammals, now demands reconsideration in light of what ravens consistently demonstrate through their behaviors. Another fascinating dimension of raven life is their relationship with other species beyond opportunistic scavenging or kleptoparasitism. In certain regions, ravens form symbiotic relationships with larger predators, such as wolves or bears. They have been observed acting as unofficial scouts, leading predators to carcasses that they themselves cannot open, knowing that once the predator has torn into the carcass, they will have access to the remains. This behavior suggests a level of interspecies cooperation that, while not formalized, reflects an understanding of mutual benefit. It is a subtle yet profound example of how ravens integrate into broader ecological networks, forging temporary alliances across species lines. Ravens' interactions with humans are just as layered. In rural settings, they often maintain a wary distance, capitalizing on human-generated food sources while avoiding direct contact. However, in areas where they are not persecuted, they exhibit boldness and curiosity, sometimes engaging in what appears to be intentional mischief, such as stealing shiny objects or tampering with equipment. These behaviors are not merely acts of survival, but seem to be driven by a combination of playfulness, exploration, and perhaps even a rudimentary sense of humor. The question of whether ravens possess a sense of humor is still debated, but there, Actions often suggest a capacity for finding novelty and entertainment in their environment. In terms of cognitive complexity, one of the most compelling studies on ravens involves their understanding of perspective taking. Experiments have shown that ravens are capable of imagining what another bird can or cannot see, a foundational aspect of theory of mind. In controlled environments, ravens have demonstrated the ability to adjust their catching behavior based on whether they believe they are being observed. They exhibit precautionary measures, such as catching in more concealed locations or waiting until a potential competitor has left. This shows that they are not just reacting to immediate stimuli, but are capable of anticipating the intentions of others, based on inferred perspectives. The depth of their problem-solving abilities is further highlighted by their use of meta tool use a rare cognitive feat. Ravens have been observed using one tool to obtain another, which is then used to achieve a goal, such as retrieving food. This sequential tool use indicates an advanced level of planning and cognitive layering, skills once thought to be exclusive to humans and a handful of primates. It raises significant questions about the evolutionary pathways that lead to such complex behaviors and suggests that cognitive sophistication may arise independently in diverse evolutionary lineages, given the right environmental pressures and social structures. Ravens' social bonds are not limited to their mates. They form alliances and friendships within larger social networks, which can last for years. These relationships are maintained through cooperative behaviors, mutual preening, and even sharing of food resources. Social bonds among ravens are critical for survival, as allies can provide support in conflicts, assist in food gathering, or serve as trusted partners in cooperative tasks. The maintenance of these relationships requires memory, recognition, and social intelligence that extends beyond simple kinship ties. Their role as cultural icons continues to influence human perception of them, sometimes blurring the line between myth and biology. In Norse mythology, Odin's ravens Hugin and Munin, representing thought and memory, circled the world each day, bringing back news and knowledge. This symbolism has proven remarkably prescient, as modern science reveals just how integral thought and memory are to raven behavior. The idea that ravens are keepers of knowledge, once a poetic metaphor, now resonates with empirical evidence of their cognitive prowess. Even in the realm of human architecture and technology, ravens leave their mark. They are known to exploit the structural features of human-built environments, nesting in high, inaccessible places, such as the girders of bridges or the ledges of skyscrapers. Their ability to adapt their nesting behavior to urban landscapes demonstrates not only flexibility, but also an acute capacity for spatial reasoning and risk assessment. They can navigate busy urban environments, time their foraging trips to avoid peak human activity, and even manipulate human behaviors to their advantage. The intricacies of raven play behavior offer another window into their minds. Play is a behavior that, in evolutionary terms, is often linked to cognitive development, creativity, and social learning. Ravens engage in games that have no immediate survival function, such as sliding down snow-covered roofs, tossing, and catching sticks. Mid-flight, or engaging in aerial chases that mimic mock combat. These activities likely serve to refine motor skills, establish social hierarchies, and strengthen bonds, but they also suggest an intrinsic motivation to explore and manipulate their world in ways that transcend pure survival. One of the most remarkable findings in raven cognition research is their capacity for episodic-like memory, the ability to recall specific past events and apply that information in future contexts. While it is debated whether birds experience memory with the same subjective awareness as humans, experiments have shown that ravens can remember who cheated them in previous interactions and adjust their behavior accordingly. This form of social memory is essential for navigating complex social landscapes where cooperation and deception are both in play. Ravens also exhibit an understanding of numerical concepts. While not capable of counting in the human sense, they can discern differences in quantity, preferring larger amounts of food and recognizing when a competitor has a numerical advantage. This quantitative assessment ability is vital in competitive foraging situations where decisions need to be made quickly and accurately. As scavengers, ravens play an often underappreciated ecological role. By consuming carrion, they help limit the spread of disease and contribute to the ecosystem's nutrient cycling. In many environments, they act as an early warning system, their presence indicating the availability of resources to other scavengers. Their behavior at carcasses can alter the dynamics of the entire scavenger community, influencing which species feed and in what order. Looking toward the future, ravens are likely to play a pivotal role in our understanding of animal consciousness and the evolution of intelligence. As research methodologies become more sophisticated, allowing for deeper insights into animal minds, ravens are expected to continue challenging our assumptions about the boundaries of cognition. They serve as living reminders that intelligence is not confined to human-like forms, but is a multifaceted trait that manifests uniquely across different species. The relationship between humans and ravens is evolving, too. In a world where human activity increasingly impacts natural habitats, ravens stand as a symbol of resilience and adaptability. They navigate the anthropogenic landscape with a blend of caution and curiosity, finding new ways to survive and thrive. For humanity, understanding and respecting these intelligent birds is not only a matter of scientific curiosity, but a moral imperative as we consider our responsibilities toward the creatures with whom we share this planet. As we continue to delve into the mysteries of raven behavior, we are confronted with profound questions about the nature of intelligence, consciousness, and the threads that connect all sentient beings. Ravens are not mere shadows flitting across the sky. They are thinkers, planners, and participants in a complex web of life that transcends human narratives of superiority. In observing their lives, we are offered a rare glimpse into a non-human intelligence that is as deep and nuanced as our own, urging us to expand our understanding of what it truly means to be wise. In the vast tapestry of the natural world, ravens stand out as architects of their own destinies, shaping their lives with a blend of instinct, learning, and what can only be described as foresight. Their stories are not simply about survival, but about the strategies they employ to outthink competitors, form alliances, and influence the very environment they inhabit. This elevates them beyond the simplistic labels often assigned to animals and positions them as active agents in their ecological narratives. One aspect of raven behavior that continues to intrigue ethologists is their capacity for delayed gratification. In experiments where ravens are given the choice between an immediate small reward or a larger reward after a waiting period, they often choose to wait. This indicates impulse control and an ability to weigh future benefits over immediate desires, trait that is a cornerstone of complex decision-making and self-regulation. Few non-human species exhibit such sophisticated time-reward trade-offs, making ravens a prime subject in the study of future-oriented cognition. Their adeptness at understanding mechanical properties of objects also reflects an engineering mindset that seems far advanced for birds. Ravens have been known to bend wires into hooks to retrieve food from tubes, a behavior that showcases their ability to perceive a problem, visualize a solution, and manipulate materials to achieve their goals. This kind of spontaneous tool innovation is rare and signifies a level of problem-solving intelligence that invites comparisons with early human tool users. Observations of wild ravens show that they not only exploit existing resources, but also modify their environment to suit their needs. They have been seen dropping hard-shelled nuts onto roads, allowing the passing cars to crack them open. This indicates not just opportunistic learning, but in understanding of cause and effect, timing and risk management, as they must retrieve the food without falling victim to the same traffic they harness as a tool. The emotional lives of ravens are complex and deeply woven into their social fabric. They display behaviors indicative of empathy, such as consoling distressed conspecifics through physical closeness and gentle preening. Such consoling actions have been documented in controlled studies where one raven witnesses another experiencing a negative event. The observing raven often approaches to offer comfort. This points to an emotional awareness that is sensitive to the states of others, a trait long considered a hallmark of higher mammals, but now increasingly recognized in birds. Juvenile ravens, much like human adolescents, go through a period of social exploration, forming gangs that roam territories, engage in playful conflicts, and learn the intricate rules of raven society. These youthful social groups serve as training grounds where young ravens develop the skills necessary for adult life, such as negotiating alliances, interpreting social cues, and refining foraging techniques. The fact that such complex social learning occurs outside the immediate family unit further highlights the importance of cultural transmission in raven populations. Their intricate vocalizations are not just a means of immediate communication, but function as a sophisticated system of conveying information about the environment, social status, and emotional states. Ravens possess the ability to mimic sounds, including human speech, mechanical noises, and the calls of other animals. In captivity, some ravens have been trained to articulate human words, but even in the wild, they display a remarkable capacity for sound imitation, often incorporating environmental noises into their calls. This vocal flexibility suggests an advanced auditory processing ability and an experimental approach to communication. The role of ravens in mythology and folklore across different cultures consistently portrays them as liminal creatures straddling the boundaries between worlds, be it life and death, the known and the unknown, or the earthly and the divine. This cultural portrayal mirrors the scientific realization that ravens themselves exist on the cognitive boundary between instinctual animal behavior and the reflective, problem-solving intelligence often reserved for humans and a few other species. Ecologically, ravens are opportunistic omnivores, and their diet reflects their adaptive strategies. They feed on carrion, small mammals, insects, grains, and even human refuse. Their flexible diet not only aids in their survival across a wide range of habitats from Arctic tundras to desert landscapes and urban sprawls, but also affects their foraging strategies and social interactions. In times of abundance, they may cache surplus food in hidden locations, demonstrating memory and strategic planning that allows them to manage resources over extended periods. The cognitive abilities of ravens also extend to understanding reciprocity and social contracts. In studies where ravens are provided opportunities to exchange favors, such as grooming or sharing food, they display a sense of fairness and will withhold cooperation from individuals who have previously cheated them. This level of social accounting requires memory, individual recognition, and an internal code of acceptable social conduct, which are essential components of complex societies. As human encroachment into natural habitats increases, ravens are likely to become even more prominent in urban ecosystems. Their intelligence, adaptability, and resourcefulness make them particularly well suited to navigating the challenges of city life. Already, ravens have been observed utilizing public transportation systems in some cities, timing their foraging activities to coincide with human routines, and even learning to operate vending machines in experimental setups. Their ability to quickly learn and exploit novel environments suggests that ravens will not only survive, but thrive in a world increasingly shaped by human activity. Another area where ravens demonstrate profound understanding is in their use of perspective taking during competitive foraging. When catching food, A raven will often engage in deceptive behaviors if it senses that it is being observed by another bird. This may include pretending to cache in one spot while secretly hiding the food elsewhere, or even delaying catching altogether until the observer leaves. This anticipatory behavior indicates that ravens are capable of considering not just what others are currently doing, but what they might do in the future based on observed information. The raven's brain, particularly the nidopallium caudolateral, which is considered functionally analogous to the prefrontal cortex in mammals, is the neural hub of these cognitive feats. Despite having a differently structured brain than mammals, ravens exhibit problem-solving and planning abilities that rival those of primates, challenging long-held assumptions about the relationship between brain structure and cognitive capacity. Conservation status of ravens is generally secure, as their adaptability to diverse habitats provides a buffer against many of the threats faced by more specialized species. However, localized challenges such as habitat destruction, hunting, and poisoning campaigns aimed at reducing their populations persist in certain areas. Conservation efforts focusing on ecological education and the promotion of cohabitation. Strategies are essential in fostering a sustainable relationship between ravens and human populations. Looking at the arc of raven evolution, it becomes clear that their intelligence has been shaped by a combination of ecological necessity and social complexity. Unlike solitary predators that rely solely on instinct and brute strength, ravens have evolved in social contexts that demand negotiation, deception, alliance building, and the sharing of knowledge. This has given rise to a culture of intelligence, where learning from others is as crucial as individual problem-solving. In sum, the raven is a testament to nature's capacity for innovation. Their behaviors defy simple classification, blending cognitive traits we typically reserve for primates with the evolutionary advantages of flight and adaptability. As they soar through our skies, manipulating their world with a mix of calculated strategy and apparent curiosity, ravens challenge us to rethink what it means to be intelligent. They are not merely creatures of folklore or scavengers on the periphery of ecosystems. They are dynamic, thinking beings with minds that reflect the intricate dance between environment, evolution, and consciousness. Their story is far from over. With each new discovery, ravens invite us to look beyond the surface, to peer into a world where feathers and flight conceal minds as sharp as any. In their eyes, we see not only the wild intelligence of nature, but also a mirror reflecting humanity's own quest for understanding the minds that inhabit this world alongside us. As we come to the culmination of understanding ravens, it becomes undeniable that these birds are not merely survivors of their environments, but shapers of them, actively participating in an ongoing dialogue with the world around them. Their intelligence, adaptability, and emotional depth challenge our traditional hierarchies of cognitive complexity, making them not just subjects of scientific inquiry, but ambassadors of a broader redefinition of what intelligence truly entails. Ravens possess a unique blend of traits that allow them to navigate life's complexities with remarkable finesse. They are equally at home in desolate wilderness as they are amidst the chaos of human settlements. Their capacity to assess risks, exploit opportunities, and even anticipate future events places them among a select group of species that can be considered true strategists of the animal kingdom. Their behavioral repertoire is not static, but dynamic, constantly evolving through personal experience and social learning, allowing them to adapt rapidly to new challenges. One of the most profound revelations about ravens is their capacity for what scientists term mental time travel. This refers to the ability to mentally project oneself, backward to recall past experiences, and forward to anticipate future needs. For ravens, this manifests in behaviors like planning tool use, adjusting catching strategies based on who might steal from them later, and even preparing for food scarcity by hoarding supplies. This temporal flexibility in thinking was once considered a uniquely human trait, but ravens prove that nature has multiple pathways to such cognitive sophistication. Their social world is equally intricate. Ravens engage in political maneuvering within their groups, forming alliances that can shift the balance of power during conflicts. These alliances are not purely instinctual, but are built upon individual recognition, memory of past interactions, and a keen sense of reciprocity. Such social intelligence allows them to build trust, hold grudges, and even manipulate others for strategic gain. These dynamics mirror, in many ways, the social intricacies seen in primate troops and even human societies. Their communicative abilities are continually being decoded, revealing a system far richer than simple calls and alarms. Ravens modulate their vocalizations based on context, audience, and emotional state, employing a repertoire of sounds that can convey warnings, invitations to cooperate, expressions of contentment, or signals of distress. The potential for these vocalizations to carry symbolic meaning is a tantalizing frontier in animal communication research, suggesting that ravens might use their voices to share more than just immediate information, perhaps even stories or learned lessons across generations dot in their play. Ravens exhibit a zest for life that transcends utility. Whether it's aerial acrobatics, games of chase, or object manipulation, their playful interactions are not just rehearsals for adult skills, but appear to be expressions of creativity and joy. Such behaviors reflect a mind that finds intrinsic reward in exploration and novelty, qualities that are hallmarks of a curious and flexible intelligence. The spiritual and symbolic roles that ravens occupy in human culture further underscore their deep-seated presence in our collective consciousness. From the trickster figures of Native American lore to the harbingers of transformation in Celtic mythology, ravens have always been more than birds. They are seen as intermediaries between realms, embodying the mysteries of life, death, and the unknown. This archetypal role is not mere superstition, but echoes a deep, almost intuitive recognition of their otherworldly intelligence and their uncanny ability to appear at pivotal moments of change or revelation. From an ecological perspective, ravens serve as keystone species in many of the habitats they occupy. Their scavenging helps prevent the spread of disease. Their nesting behaviors influence local avian communities, and their interactions with predators can shape the distribution of resources across the ecosystem. They are not passive participants, but active engineers of their environments, often altering ecological dynamics through their presence and actions. Ravens also exhibit cultural traditions that are passed down through generations. This includes not only foraging techniques and tool use, but also specific flight paths, roosting sites, and even regional dialects in their calls. The transmission of such knowledge points to a culture in the truest sense of the word, where learned behaviors persist beyond the lifespan of individual birds and become part of the social fabric of raven populations, in human-modified landscapes. Ravens are often early adopters of novel resources and strategies. They have been observed learning to trigger motion-activated doors, fishing trash from public bins, and even imitating human voices to distract or interact with people. Their cognitive flexibility ensures that they remain resilient in the face of environmental changes that decimate less adaptable species. This makes them invaluable subjects in understanding how intelligence can be a buffer against extinction in a rapidly changing world. Despite their success, ravens still face challenges, particularly in regions where they are viewed as pests or competitors for game species. Misunderstandings about their ecological role often lead to persecution, highlighting the ongoing need for public education and conservation efforts that emphasize coexistence and respect. Recognizing the invaluable contributions of ravens to ecosystem health and biodiversity is essential in shifting perspectives from conflict to collaboration. The study of ravens also offers insights into the evolutionary roots of human intelligence. By examining the convergent evolution of cognitive traits in ravens and primates, scientists can better understand the environmental and social pressures that drive the development of complex minds. Ravens remind us that intelligence is not a linear progression leading inevitably to humans, but a diverse and multifaceted phenomenon that emerges wherever life demands it. Looking ahead, ravens will continue to be key figures in the scientific exploration of animal minds. Advances in neuroimaging, behavioral experimentation, and field observation promise to unravel further layers of their cognitive world. Each discovery not only deepens our understanding of ravens, but also challenges us to rethink our place within the broader web of life. Their intelligence, so often perceived through a human lens, serves as a mirror reflecting the myriad ways consciousness can manifest in a natural world. Ultimately, the raven's story is one of profound connection. It is a tale of a species that has flown alongside humanity for millennia, watching, learning, and adapting. Their gaze, sharp and knowing, reminds us that intelligence is not the exclusive domain of humankind, but a shared attribute expressed in feathers and flight as eloquently as in words and inventions. In every beat of their wings and every calculating glance, ravens invite us to see the world through a wider lens, one that celebrates the richness of all minds, regardless of shape or species. Their continued presence in our myths, ecosystems, and scientific pursuits ensures that ravens will remain as enigmatic as they are enlightening. They are, and always will be, both guardians of ancient wisdom and pioneers of cognitive evolution, soaring symbols of a natural intelligence that is as mysterious as it is profound. And so, the story of the raven is far from just a tale of a black-feathered bird. It is a reflection of nature's brilliance, a living testament that intelligence wears many faces and flies on many wings. Every time a raven outsmarts a predator, solves a puzzle, or calls out across a valley, it echoes a truth that resonates far beyond the wild. That thought, emotion, and awareness are not human inventions, but universal forces flowing through all life. To watch a raven is to glimpse the mind of nature itself, sharp, playful, and endlessly curious. Their story is intertwined with ours, not as background creatures in a human world, but as fellow travelers in the grand unfolding journey of consciousness on Earth.